Hi, I'm Rob from robandphoto.com, and this evening I'm going to do a little video about the Polaroid Colorpack II instant photography camera that Mike Rasso from the Film Photography podcast was very kind enough to send me to play with and check out and just see what it was like shooting with pack film. But first, a little kind of background on why Mike sent me the camera. It's because I sent him an email, and I'm fairly new to photography. I've been sort of doing it as a sort of serious hobby now for probably about sort of 2-3 years. But recently I've started getting into instant photography a little bit more. And as you well know, Polaroid kind of had almost disappeared a couple of years ago, and they've come back sort of under a slightly different guise. But lots of these old cameras are still around, and lots of people shoot instant photography using Polaroid cameras and Fuji cameras and different things. And I sent Mike an email and said, look, I'm confused. I don't really know what all these different film types are and how you use them. Especially when he was talking about using pack film. Because if I just do a quick run through some of the instant cameras I've got and the type of film you would use with them. If we take something like this is a Polaroid 1000 instant land camera. Now this is what we call an integral film camera, and it uses Polaroid SX70 film. And what happens is when you take a picture, the film comes out of the front and develops in front of your eyes. There's nothing to peel off or anything, so it's called an integral film. Polaroid no longer make SX70 film, but the Impossible project, if you just do a quick Google for them, they do film for it. It's a little bit of experimental, but it's getting better all the time, but it's quite expensive. So the way to get film for these is really through the Impossible project. Then, loads of you have probably seen these, maybe not this particular one, but this is a 600 series, a Polaroid 600 series camera. And again, this is an integral film, so when you take the picture, the film comes out and it develops in front of you. And 600 film came out after SX70. Basically, it was a lot faster to develop. Again, the way to get film for these guys now is through the Impossible project. And there's a few other types. There's like Spectra film as well that you can get from them for that sort of camera. Now, if you want cameras that will shoot instant film that's still available from the manufacturer, you get cameras like this. Now these are Fujifilm cameras. We've got the Instax Mini, which comes in various models, but they always use the same film, and the Instax 200, 210, or I think the Instax 100 as well. And these use film that is still readily made by Fujifilm. And again, it's an integral film, so when you press the button with these ones, what happens is the film comes out the top. The Mini film's about that big, the Instax film's about the same size, if not slightly bigger than the Polaroid, and it develops in front of your eyes. Really nice colours, pretty sharp, nice results. However, one of the things that Mike always mentioned was shooting with these guys, Colorpack IIs, or Polaroid pack film cameras. And the difference with these is the type of film it produces. When it comes out, you crack and peel it, so you pull it apart. And I said, what's it all about then? And what you do with the cameras like the Colorpack II, they use this stuff, which is a film, instant crack and peel film that Fujifilm still make, and they make, among others, the FP100C, which is their colour instant film for this type of camera, and they use their FP3000B, which is their black and white peel apart film for this camera too. So here we have a really old Polaroid camera that works with these fantastic new, well, they've been around a while, but they still make them, Fujifilm crack and peel films, which actually, if you get them online, I think the cheapest places I've seen for them, you can get them for about a tenner or £11 for a pack, which makes it about just over £1 a shot, which isn't too bad. So what we'll do now is I'll just change the camera position, and we'll have a little bit closer look at the Colorpack II, and also a Polaroid 320 folding camera. as well, so you can get an idea of what it's like to shoot with them, and things to look out for if you're going to buy one second hand. Okay, so let's have a closer look at the Polaroid Colorpack II instant camera. So, as I've just said, it uses pack film, and basically you get photographs out this sort of size. These are the black and white ones. And as you can see, the big advantage of these over the sort of prints that come out of a 600 or an SX70 type is they look, in terms of size and the framing of the photograph, they look like proper print. They haven't got like that big fat bit that integral prints have, so that's very nice. And the quality is fantastic too. So let's have a look at the camera itself. So here we go. So this is the camera. Basically, you've got the viewfinder on the top that you can look through. You load up the film, and it's sitting there ready to be used when I take the next exposure. Depending on whether you're using black and white or colour film, you'll set the ISO. So black and white is 3000, colour is 75. That's your shutter release there, so if you press that, that fires the shutter. I'm not going to do that. You set your distance, so you do your focusing with this knob here. And basically, what that 5 means, if you're shooting black and white, because the ISO is so high, you can really just put it on 5 and everything will be in focus. But if you're shooting colour, you need to be a lot more accurate with your distance estimates. They go there. For your exposure, you've got a lighten and darken wheel, like you have on most Polaroid cameras. And then what you can see here is a holder for the flash. And this camera uses old flash cubes. You might remember these that pop off. And Mike was brilliant enough to send me some of these, and they still work. So when you're doing inside photography, you can use that. Now, using this sort of camera is a real experience, because it's a lot bigger, obviously, than a normal camera, and bigger than instant cameras I've used before. But it is a real joy, because it really slows you down, because you want to make very, very sure that the photograph is right. So you're double checking your distance, you're double checking your composition. And I won't show you now here, because I don't want to waste any more frames, but what happens is, when you've taken the picture, clunk, you hold onto this strap here, and you sort of dangle the camera, and you pull this out, you go ka-dunk, and a bit comes out, and ba-dunk, and the rest of it comes out. And then you wait a little bit, and then you peel the film apart, and you're left with the positive, but then you've also got the backing, which you can then sort of push onto a piece of paper and do all sorts of funky stuff with as well. So they're really great to use, and I can't really thank Mike from Mike Grasso from the filmphotographypodcast.com enough for sending me this camera to play around with. I've still got another couple of shots of black and white stuff to use, and then I'm really saving the colour stuff for when spring comes along and we start having some nice colours in the sky, and I can go out and do some nice landscape photography with it as well. So yeah, so if you're after one, have a look out for the Polaroid Colorpack II. It's very, very nice, and this particular one he sent me is in fantastic condition. Now, it is worth doing a quick search on the web to check whether some of these cameras are compatible with the film, because Fujifilm are the only people who make this pack film. And it only fits certain Polaroid cameras. The smaller ones, it doesn't fit anymore. So always check that before you buy. Make sure that the camera you're buying is compatible with the Fujifilm FP100C or FP3000B films. Now, what we have here is a Polaroid 320 land camera, instant land camera that I got at the weekend for the princely sum of £2 from the car boot sale in Sedgensworth. Now, I just wanted to show you a few things, just to show you a few things you should be looking out for. This is a little bit different in the fact that this is like a folder camera. So what you do with this is you pull that bit out, and the camera kind of extends like that on bellows. The way you focus this one is, I don't know if you can see it there, but you actually move the bellows in and out, and that does your focusing for you. There's the shutter there. You can see the ISO selector on the top for colour or black and white film. You've got your lighten and darken controls are actually on the lens there. And whenever you're buying a camera like this, to be honest, with the price this one was, £3, I knew it would fit the film. I wasn't that bothered, but what you would be looking for are things like, are there any obvious light seals broken inside the camera? I mean, you just seal them up with blacking tape. Do the rollers look like they're in decent condition? Like these look like, you know, they need a little bit of a clean up. The most important thing with these cameras is the battery compartment. Now, I can't show you on the Colorpack II, but I can show you on this one, because these cameras are so old. What would often happen with instant cameras is people would use them for so long, get bored with them, or they wouldn't really want to spend the money on a new pack of film, and end up sort of put them away in a cupboard, but they wouldn't take the battery out. And in those days, the batteries would always leak if you left them in something. So you've got to find the battery compartment. In a Colorpack II, it's actually in the body of the camera. And I've got film in there, so I can't open it up. But with these ones, with the 320s, it's actually this compartment here, which I can open up, and you can see it there. So what we're checking for is that these terminals are nice and clean, and they haven't got an old battery in there that's rusted and leaked nasty chemical gunge. The other problem though you'll get with some of especially this type of camera, is the type of batteries they use are, I don't think they're really available that commonly anymore. It's a 532 Everready battery, 3 volts. So I'll do a little bit of a hunt on the bay on eBay to see if I can get one, but as long as I can put something together that's 3 volts, that should work fine. Because if you don't have a battery in there, the shutter will fire, but your exposure will be incorrect. But I'm quite looking forward to using this camera, because it's I love bellows cameras, and it looks quite cool. But the one I'm going to be using first to use up the black and white and then the colour film is the Polaroid Colorpack II land camera, which was sent to me by Mike Rasso from the Film Photography podcast.com. So if you haven't checked them out already, go over to filmphotographypodcast.com, or look for Film Photography Podcast in iTunes and download the episodes. There's Mike, Dwayne and John who do it, and they're a brilliant laugh, and it's probably, well, I know it's my favourite podcast, photography or any otherwise, on the internet. It's just, the guys are so funny, but there's lots of really cool, great information on the podcast, and it's not just all about Polaroid photography, it's about all types of film photography. Well, my name's Rob from robnunphoto.com. Thanks for watching this little video about instant cameras. Feel free to email me, scalespeeder@gmail.com, with any questions. Check my blog out at robnunnphoto, that's ROBNUNNPHOTO.com, and obviously check out the guys at filmphotographypodcast.com. My name's Rob, and thanks for watching.